We had one David. Bring up another David. Mr. David Schmidt, please.
This mic stand got shorter since the last time I was here. I'll leave that there. So, when I was a kid, I kind of grew up as like the psychological equivalent of a child called It. I have a really unique kind of family. And just a dad, just a mom, and I had one brother that was older than me. Still do. Don't really see him very often. But he was 4 years older than me, which in kid years, when you're 5 and your brother is 9, he's God. He beats you at everything. And I don't know what kind of started this trend, but whenever we would play with toys, he would buy all of the bad guys, and I would get all of the good guys. And no matter what I ever seemed to do, like Optimus Prime never won. Lion-O never won. Like the entire time, it was like, you know, Mum-Ra and Megatron just really wiping their ass with the Autobots and the Thundercats there. You know, any discussion we got into anything, my brother was he was the smarter, faster, stronger, looks a little bit less like Doogie Howser version of myself. And I really did, in a lot of ways, grow up in his shadow. Well, when I was about 13, 14 years old, this family moved in across the street from us. And they had a daughter that moved in with them. And I don't know if you guys have ever read anything by Freud, but he talks about the latency period where, like, you know, you're not interested in members of the opposite sex. I think Nick talked about that a little bit. Yeah, I never had that. And by 14, I was really ready to go. And this chick had it going on. I'm not sure if she was a year older or a year younger than me, but whatever it was, she was all kinds of hot. And I realized, like, I don't know, a couple months into them having moved in, I was like, you know, sitting around playing some sweet video games. Maybe it was some Tomb Raider, because I'm not really that old. And I look out the window, and I notice that she's, you know, doing whatever people do in their bedroom, and she's got no blinds or drapes. She just has a window. And so, you know, I'm like sitting there kind of watching her kill the lights inside of my room. Got the blinds drawn. I'm like looking out the little slot. This is my not creepy face, by the way. So be terrified if you ever see the creepy one. And at one point, like, you know, I wouldn't like sit out there and eat Cheetos or anything, but at one point, she comes into her bedroom wearing only a towel and her hair's wet, and I was like, God is real, and he loves this guy. And I'm sitting there just glued, like, I swear to God, I should have had a pair of binoculars. And she goes to drop the towel, and I'm like, yes! And then right as she does, I drop the blind, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't let Megatron win. Like, I can't do this. And so I just kind of go back to my video games, and, you know, just let the thing pass out of my mind. And of course, now I realize I was an idiot. Like, if this shit happened now, I'd have all of my friends over. We'd all have telescopes. I'd be videotaping it. It'd be on the internet for all of your enjoyment. Well, so this kind of goes on for a while. And one night, you know, I'm like, oh, how you doing there, lady? And then, you know, don't think much about it. And kind of watching her, and something happens in her bedroom, and she turns around, and all of a sudden, like, you can just kind of tell from the activity that something's not right. I'm like, that's weird. And she walks out of her room. So I just go back to my video games. And the doorbell rings at my house. Now, just so you guys know, my family was like, was pretty much like the Addams family of the street. Nobody came over to talk to us, ever. So at like 9 p.m. at night, if the doorbell was ringing, I knew some shit was up. And so I kind of like creep out of my bedroom, using my, you know, all of my ninja skills, and try to eavesdrop, and I can tell that it's the girl across the street's parents at the door. And my dad goes outside of the door to talk to them. So I'm like, oh, shit. So I walk back into my room, and I'm just kind of sitting there, freaking out, having a nice little, you know, panic attack to myself. It's a little bit of alone time. And I eventually, you know, I basically am trying to keep an ear open, and I can hear them walk back across the street, and I visually verify. And then I kind of just come out of my room and I'm just like, let's just get this over with. And I go downstairs and my mom and my dad are talking to my brother. And I'm like, what's up? And they're like, can you give us a moment? Like, we're talking to your brother about something. And I was like, oh shit, are they trying to get the fucking trifecta on me? Like, am I gonna have to sit down with my goddamn brother looking at me too, being like, so, you were caught peeping on this chick? And I was like, god damn it. But I I don't get a talking to. And then the next day I don't get a talking to, and I'm like living in terror at this point. I'm just like, fuck, will you guys like say something to me already? So I get a moment alone with my mom, and I say like, so what was with all that noise where the girl across the street's parents came over? And my mom, God bless her, looks at me very seriously, and she says, this is a family secret. You can never, ever talk about this with anyone. and I think to myself, oh, Jesus, what the hell, what went down and how much trouble am I in? And she says, apparently the girl across the street was caught the other night spying on your brother while he was dancing in his bedroom. Naked. With guns. Now you guys might think this is a little weird, but it wouldn't dawn on me for years, like probably half a decade before I realized that most people don't dance with guns. But the only thing that kind of shocked me was that my brother had gotten caught. Like, normally he's pretty sly, and it was amazing to me that apparently he just had his window open for everyone to see. So it kind of brought him down a little bit, in my estimation, and the lesson I took from it was that sometimes it's actually kind of better to be the person that gets caught than to watch the guy that you've kind of looked up to for your whole life getting caught in the act.